Ah, yes!
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Lamb's Lounge. And as you can see, I got my guy, my partner in crime, tag partner, Impy in the building today. What's good, baby?
Thanks for having me.
First ever guest of the lounge.
Yes.
So it was only right that it'd be my guy over here. All right. So today, guys, what we're going to do is we're breaking this down into two things. We're picking a team in the NBA that did not make the playoffs last year that we think is going to make the playoffs this year. We each have one team.
Yes.
And part two of this is we're not picking the Lakers. Right?
That's obvious.
That's an obvious one. We're not going to go with the obvious. So for the lounge, obviously just because Impy's here doesn't mean we're not going to put our feet up on the table.
Absolutely.
But Impy, why don't you kick us off with give me a team that you think is going to make the playoffs that didn't make the playoffs last year.
The Denver Nuggets.
Nice. Denver Nuggets, by the way. Fun league pass team.
Great team to watch. West Coast team, so you might not catch them if you're on the East.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, Denver Nuggets have missed the playoffs by one game the past two seasons. I'm not sure if you've caught that.
Yeah. They've had those like
last game of the season kind of
sort
situation.
Sort of like what the Cubs and Rockies just did,
yes,
where they played game 163 to determine if they'd be a wild card team or if they'd make the playoffs.
Yeah. And so this team has gotten better over the past four seasons, every season. And they played 44 games without All-Star Paul Millsap,
which was their big free agent acquisition last summer.
Yeah. And so I think Gary Harris is going to take another step. He's one of the best two-way players in the league. You know how big of a fan I am of Nikola Jokic.
Yeah, Jokic is number one fan over here.
They pretty much run their offense from the inside out, and I'm a big fan of that. He's a great passer. And they drafted Michael Porter Jr. in the lottery knowing that he wouldn't play.
Yeah.
And so I think they're under the impression that their roster is good enough to win now and make a playoff push, and that's why they did draft him.
High risk, high reward kind of thing.
Yeah, they know what they have already. They think that they can make the playoffs. They pretty much almost did last year, so they took a kid that's a little bit of a project. He was hurt. So I'm all in on the Nuggets this year.
I got to say, I'm surprised you didn't mention my boy Jamal Murray.
Yes, he can shoot the lights out.
And also, guys, he really emerged ever since that sophomore freshman game from 2 years ago.
In the All-Star game.
In the All-Star game, All-Star weekend. That's where you're playing with all the alphas. You're playing with other rookies, guys that went before you, guys that went after you, guys with chips on their shoulder. And from there, his career really took off. Where now he's a piece that they didn't want to trade. No. This is a guy that they really want to build their team around, and I'm with you on that.
Yeah.
And to touch on Gary Harris, one of the most underrated players in the league.
Easy. One of the best two-way players in the league. It's not even close. And in a Western Conference where it's guard heavy, a lot of great guards, you need a lockdown defender on the wing or a guard. And so I think that's him. And I think he takes another step this year. He might be a household name if Denver, gets into the playoffs.
And Jokic just got paid this offseason, too.
And rightfully so.
They extended him. All right, the team I'm going to go with, I'm with you on the Nuggets. Honestly, guys, I wanted to pick the Nuggets also.
Thanks, pal.
But a team that I'm going to go with, what do you think about the Charlotte Hornets?
Yeah.
So they bring in Tony Parker from the Spurs. You get that experienced guy in the backcourt. Maybe can, take over a game late in the game.
Yeah.
You got Kemba Walker there that, he's your franchise player. Dwayne Bacon.
Yep.
Year two.
You bring over the assistant coach from San Antonio.
Yes.
Right?
You get Batum. You got Biyombo. I know Biyombo, his contract sucks, but he's not a bad player. You get Miles Bridges.
Yes.
Right? As we're looking at the roster here. We got Frank the Tank. Frank Kaminsky, when he gets burned, gets playing time, he produces.
Solid.
He's solid. And look, the East is going to take a step back.
Absolutely.
Right? Last year, they missed the playoffs by, I believe it was 4 games.
Okay.
Batum missed a big chunk of the year to start, so that was a big piece. The Charlotte Hornets actually was a team that I thought would be a dark horse top 4 seed last year.
Okay.
But because they had Dwight Howard too, and Howard, say what you want about him, he had a really solid year last year.
Yeah.
I think he was like 16. He was double digits.
Who's now with Washington, if I'm not mistaken.
He is with the Wizards, which is going to be very, very interesting if those guys could stay healthy and coexist. But I like this Hornets team. You get Malik Monk too, year 2. He's playing pretty well in the preseason. So yeah, I just think that this is a team where in the East, I'm kind of going with like the Cavaliers maybe dropping out of the playoffs.
There's a lot of teams that are gonna fall, drop a bit. So I'm with you.
Yeah. So we got the Charlotte Hornets and the Denver Nuggets as 2 teams that weren't in the playoffs last year that'll make the playoffs this year. And obviously, we're not picking the Lakers because
that's obvious.
There's some guy named LeBron James.
They're going to win 50 games this year.
Went over there. I think their floor is 50 games.
Yeah.
All right, Imp, where can they find you if they want to contact you?
IMPY718, Twitter and Instagram. You already know.
At The Lamb Show on all social media. Make sure to follow us at Veterans Minimum on Twitter. Veterans_minimum on Instagram. Hit a subscribe on the video below if you haven't already. Hit a thumbs up because we need all the help we can get.
Yes, we do.
And we'll catch you next time in the lounge.